And we are live, Wrestle Purist Live, hosted by myself and Ibu, better known to some of you guys as Backup Hangman. And today, we're going to be talking a little bit about MJF. He broke an AEW record today by becoming the longest reigning AEW World Champion in AEW history in the 5 years in company history. Anyway, last night's NXT and a Raw recap. We're going to preview Dynamite and whatever else you guys want us to talk about. First things first, please like, subscribe, send any super chats with any questions, any takes, anything like that. Turn on the post notifications. Hope everyone's doing good. Ibu, how's it going?
It's going. I feel like shit, but I watched some pretty good wrestling last night.
Old and beat up.
Yeah. At least Ilya Dragunov was a good wrestler, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, happy to be here. I found the Monsoon Classic YouTube page, and this man has playlists upon playlists upon playlists of WCW Saturday night matches and all these kinds of cool little gems. You know, I found a Steamboat Vader match on there from WCW Worldwide, and I did a backflip in my room.
You can't do a backflip.
I can't.
You can't do anything even resembling a backflip.
Monty,
you can just fall over.
I want you to guess how long this match is. It's a TV main event.
7 minutes 40 seconds.
You are almost completely on the nose, on the money.
It's good stuff, bro.
Vader just doing those potato punches, splashing in the corner, Steamboat rolling out of the corner before the last splash and doing his chops and his drop kick. You know,
good stuff. You know,
yeah.
Good time to reminisce on. You know,
absolutely. A couple of wrestling Twitter crack dealers have helped me out yesterday because I made a post about this. You know, and all these dudes out of nowhere. I should have reached out quicker because all these dudes that I never knew like existed, they all got these files for me of like
Google Drives, bro. Google Drives.
I got dudes are hitting me up like, I got everything around the world until about 1993 here, brother. Sending me links. I'm like,
the dark alley on Twitter.
Yes. Some dude's like, that's everything. It's missing some New Japan from the 2000s, but here you go. I'm like, whoa. And someone's like, here's some AAA, bro.
I'll never forget when Manny came across the whole entire Ring of Honor archive. The whole thing. Oh man, good times. But yeah, Google Drives. people who know how to how to source what they want on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Not sure about the legalities, but it's good stuff, you know.
We at Wrestle Pierce do not endorse piracy.
Absolutely not. Could never be us.
No.
We got a couple of super chats. Zaid Nadi coming in clutch, $4.99. Appreciate you. Cody Senior walk behind the tweet and using for promo. Pop me. What an ace. No longer watching full wrestling TV is the best. AEW TV ain't the same. Sad face.
Monty, did you see this?
What? Behind her.
I posted a clip.
I did see your tweet. Hilarious. I saw everything else.
Yeah, so I posted a famous Dusty promo where he wanted to tag with Dustin Rhodes one last time, right? And he was like, "Oh, and Anderson is nothing but a walk behind her."
Yeah, I know the promo. It's one of my favorite Dusty promos.
And then Cody, and I posted that a few hours before Raw. Cody absolutely saw this thing. And then on TV, he was like, Damian Priest, you're nothing but a walk behind her. You walk behind Rhea Ripley. You walk behind Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor. I'm like, yo. And it made me already even more fired up than I was. So, yeah, that was nice. That was absolutely nice.
It's good shit, man. Good shit. Appreciate you as always, Zaid, coming in quick with the super chat. Bob the Builder, $2.79 Canadian. What's the percentage CM Punk shows up at Survivor Series? Not much has changed, really, has it?
Yeah, you know what? I always say I'm going to try to get an update for you guys.
Oh.
I will try to get a conclusive. What the hell is that? I'm going to get a conclusive update before next week's Worldwide. And I'm talking conclusive as in like I think I'll be able to have a definitive answer for you guys for Monday. Like, I'll be able to definitively come on Monday, hopefully, and go, CM Punk will not be at Survivor Series. Or, hey, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens,
I'm gonna put it to you this way. I will be the first, even though it's super technicality, I will be the first wrestling media person to definitively say, if he's not gonna be there, I will be the one to officially drop that hammer. Unless Sean beats me in the weekend, but
unless someone just beats you to it,
yeah, unless Sean hears about this and he's like, "Fuck that, I'm gonna ask WWE," so yeah,
man. MJF, record-breaking day for him. 347 days of his AEW World Title reign, making him the longest reigning world champion in AEW's short history. Still impressive nonetheless. And I want to talk about his reign a little bit because it's been quite not entirely divisive. I think the consensus is that it has been a good reign, but there is definitely pockets of people, as always with these things, but quite loud pockets of people, as far as this is concerned, that are not the biggest fans of this reign as a whole, to be honest, for multiple reasons. But I just want to kind of see what the chat thinks of the reign, so we can talk about some points they bring up, what we think of the reign, because I think it's had its ups and its definite downs as well. But I think overall, I'd give it a thumbs up. I think, look, you just listen to the reactions and stuff. It's still going strong right now. So, anyway, let's get into it. Ibu, you have said a few times throughout the year that MJF is your wrestler of the year. He has held the belt all throughout 2023, so that's basically the reign. Do you still stand by this as of November 1st, 2023? Is MJF still your wrestler of the year, and why?
I have to admit, I'm much more shaken on this now.
Why?
The wrestling, his matches and his title defenses are still absolutely world class. The Samoa Joe match that I was there live for was tremendous, and the Kenny Omega match he had just last weekend was excellent. What has begun to falter post Wembley, in my opinion, is the thing with Max was he had the Midas touch when it came to creative, in my opinion, because he would try something out, it would get over, and it would work. The Adam Cole stuff worked. I think post Wembley, a lot of what he's going for and attempting isn't connecting to the same level. Not to the live. The live crowd still like loves everything he does. Like they'll chant anything he tells them to chant. They get into all that stuff. Max being over and staying over is not a problem for Max. And so I say this subjectively, to be honest with you. I say it purely subjectively that I think that just a lot of what he's attempted creatively, like some of it works, but some of it just doesn't for me right now. And it makes it kind of hard to center how I feel about what he's doing right now, because again, his title defenses are fucking fantastic, Monty. Like it's crazy. Max was considered the guy like who wasn't that great in the ring a couple years ago, and right now, like the categorically almost like consensus thing everybody can agree about him right now is that the matches are great, like generally speaking. And then I'm like mixed on I'm mixed on the Bullet Club Gold feud, which was a pivot. That was a pivot because of Adam Cole's injury. And he's doing his best with it, and he's trying to involve a bunch of other people into his broader storyline right now. And some of it I like, and some of it I just don't. And it's a lot being thrown at me that he's attempting, and like it's a mixed bag for me in terms of what's clicking for me. Like I almost like with the acclaimed aspect of this, I almost like I'm waiting to see what he's cooking there before I make a full on ruling. So far, I don't love it, but it kind of feels like one of those things where it's like I gotta kind of see where you're going with this, like what's the goal of this, so to speak, before I kind of definitively go, nah, this is not good or this is good. And the same applies for a couple other things, like Wardlow's reintroduction into this Max storyline. We'll see what happens with Samoa Joe. Hopefully, Samoa Joe's his Ring of Honor tag partner, because I'm kind of like, here's another example. I don't really love the Max handicap stuff, like when he does the handicap tags, for the ROH title.
It looks like he's got a mystery partner ahead. So
Well, tonight he has
What
3,
happens?
and I presume it's the
Oh
Acclaimed.
yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah, tonight he has 3, and I presume it's the Acclaimed. He has to defend the ROH tag titles at Full Gear against the
Mm-hmm.
Guns, and I would hope that that's Samoa Joe, and the story would call for it, and I think that'd be really cool. So we'll see, man. We'll see. What I'll say about Max is, again, he always remains creatively ambitious, and so even if something doesn't land for me, he's very receptive to criticism. He pays attention. He tries to adjust things on the fly if it's not clicking totally. And in regards to like him being involved in like 17 things right now, it's almost like a wait and see to see how it kind of climaxes leading the world's end before you like say like for sure like this isn't not good or not or whatever. But in the middle of the process, I'm just kind of like unsure how to feel about it, and so I'm not gonna say that he's no longer the rest of the year. It's just kind of harder for me to say it with the same level of confidence. He's meant so much to AEW this year, man. He is
Yeah,
like he is the brand is unified behind him and his style of doing things and his type of TV that he produces. And for some people that's a really bad thing, and for other people it's a positive. For me, I'm kind of in the middle of that as well, because it's like, a lot has been made about AEW's borderline transformation into a sports entertainment company now, and I don't know if that should be. No, actually, no. I'll straight up say it shouldn't be AEW's overall identity. Um, and it makes you wonder, like, can Max exist in a universe where everything else isn't done like him? And I think it can, because we've seen it done before. But now that he's the champion and he's the top babyface, um, you're just starting to see things follow suit. You know what I mean? Like with the increased comedy, and comedy used as a storytelling device, and comedy just being used straight up as a device to get over. Uh, and it's led to this like WWE-esque variety show that like I'm kind of mixed on. And like, it's weird because I'm like, do I blame that on like should I blame that on Max? Because he doesn't book the fucking show, but it just seems like something that's naturally happened while he's been the top guy. Uh, nonetheless, I do think he's a great champion. I do think
yeah,
he's a great champion, and it's his company right now. So
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah, absolutely. AEW is, he is the main figurehead of the promotion, which is something that a lot of people were calling for, myself included, that they had a definitive, top babyface. Obviously with it being MJF, obviously we had to transition to get there. But one thing I'll always remain with MJF, even the start of his run, like I was never one of those people who was like MJF is not good enough in the ring or anything like that. I thought that was definitely overstated, and I thought MJF done a very good job in his run in AEW to like deliberately like shut that down completely. I think the Derby match was a big one where he wanted to prove a point, and that was a long time ago now. But yeah, if you look at the matches, absolutely on paper, he's always performed in the ring, especially with especially with this AEW World Title reign, which we are talking about right now. So um, it's just, I do think he has sometimes his instincts can, so it's like when he was still a heel, he got into the groove of going out and kind of cutting the same like cliche promo, which you've heard it loads of times, either from myself, Charlie, Ayo, around that time when he was still a heel, kind of getting really bored and kind of like eye rolling at it. And then obviously he turned face, and it's like even then there's been some instances where like his instincts, like the tofu problem, the tofu promo problem, whatever you want to call it. That's obviously quite a recent example. So it's like sometimes he does miss. Not everything is a hit. Sometimes he does miss, but
yeah.
I think he hits at a good enough rate to where you kind of, for me at least, looking at it, it's like you have to give it up to him in the sense of
Mm-hmm.
like overall it is a good reign. His quarters do well, like business wise. His quarters do well. Obviously, the ticket sales for AEW this year have not been great, but I don't think that's a reflection of Max. Although, if Max was an absolute hot ticket draw, then obviously the tickets would be a bit different. But I think it would be unfair to just throw it all on Max like that. And
Yeah, I've seen, because I've seen people say that, like I've seen people actually say like, if the Brochachas thing was hot, why is it not moving tickets? And I think to a degree it's a fair criticism, in the sense that like when it was going on before Cole got hurt, it was really hot in the buildings, right? And did good in the quarters, but like it's hot to the people that chose to come to the show, rather than like people are like, oh my god, AEW is coming in town, I have to see the brochachos. So it's kind of tough to tell there. Even though I can also say that Max is the primary reason why they moved a bunch of seats late for Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
So that just makes it kind of tough to like really have a feel either way for some of these things, you know.
Yeah, I think there's enough evidence that points that Max is a good draw. Like he's not fucking Roman Reigns, John Cena, fucking Cody Rhodes with his WWE run, but like, you know, he's like I said, his quarters perform well. There's direct evidence, like you just pointed out, Grand Slam. I think it is very, very fair to attribute a lot of those sales to him directly. But yeah, you know, AEW as a whole, I don't think it would be fair to kind of shoulder all the blame on him just purely because he's the world champion when his stuff is actually pretty much performing well outside of that one metric, which nothing's really, except for Wembley. You know, they've got that, they've got Wembley, which they can hang the hat on. Obviously, MJF main evented that as well. So, but yeah, like I said, overall, I think his run has been good. The wrestling has been great. But there has been instances where he has missed, whether that be with promos or it's like the righteous match, bro. I didn't, I weren't, I weren't particularly thrilled with that match, you know. But yeah, like I said, I liked how you brought up kind of this mishmash of things that he's doing at the moment. And it's like I think it may be a thing where it's just a process of elimination, and if something catches fire, he'll stay on that path. But let's say, for example, this acclaimed thing just tanks. You know, like not tanks. It's never going to fully tank, but let's say it just doesn't get over to the degree that it was planned to. You know, then you could drop it after a little bit, and let's say this Samoa Joe thing just becomes like red hot, then you can stay on that. But yeah, I think it's good to point out, like you did, that there is things that he's even right now. There's things that he's doing that I like, and there's things that he's involved in that I don't like. Like I think the Roddy and the Kingdom stuff is just like it's too much. You know, it's too much with the like the comedy BS sort of stuff. The Acclaim stuff, I think you're very fair in your stance of just being like, we'll let it play out, but I do have my concerns about that. The Samoa Joe stuff, obviously, I'm pretty biased towards Samoa Joe, so of course I love that. The Kenny Omega match last week was obviously that was great. The Jay White stuff, not turning on it just yet, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's not the perfect reign. I think it's a good first world title reign, and if it hasn't got to a point yet where it's like, MJF should drop the title right now, and he's 347 days in. So I think that's a testament to something,
I think it was peaking when he literally headlined the biggest show of all time, and like the match that was like the hottest match on the show, So
it's even that match itself has been somewhat divisive.
Yeah,
sure. Our friend Ash, it's like
he thinks it's
that was like it's like a nightmare for him.
We were dope. I mean, Monty, we were just talking about. I was talking about this in the Spears group chat. We were talking about the match, and he was just like Murph was talking about how like he loved it, and it's like his match of the year. And Ash just like it's like the fucking worst thing I've ever seen all year. I'm just, he was just like, it's not wrestling.
Yeah, it's a lot of melodrama. It's a lot of. And MJF has done a lot of that, and a lot of you can definitely call some of it WWE-esque, and I can 100%. That's the thing as well, is like the people who really turn the nose up at certain things that MJF does, like I completely understand it. Do you know? Well, and it's even some of it's like even some of it's stuff that I myself don't particularly love, but it's like I don't hate it per se. It's like the MJF versus Adam Cole match. I know a lot of people love it, and I know some people definitely hate it. I don't love or hate it, I was there live. It was a great atmosphere and stuff, but I understand. I think some of the reasons why people hate it are quite valid, and some of the reasons why people love it are absolutely valid in the same way. So, yeah, like I said, not the perfect reign, but a good one overall. And shouts out to him. He's still young, and when I say that some of his stuff that he's done this year has been like misses, it's like he's young enough to still kind of get away with it. Do you know what I mean? It's he's still figuring it out. He's still getting better every month, every year. And I think that's always quite important to remember with MJF. Like, yeah, he's a top star in AEW right now, but he's literally like what
26, 27.
26, you know. So he's still got some mistakes to make, I'm sure, and he's definitely on the right path. I don't think he's doing too bad, but
yeah, look, it's bro. Again, for all the things you could bring up with him, I mean, I don't know what AEW looks like this year without Max. Because a lot of other
that's another thing, man. Carry on.
Yeah, because it's like, who's driving the stories on this show if Max is not there? You know what I mean? Not to come at anybody, but a lot of other key top guys are like not in their create. Like they're not they don't seem super creatively inspired at the moment. And so if that's the case, it's like, what do you do? And him being 26, 27, and as driven as he is to continue to attempt things creatively and attempt to get things over, it's an asset for the company, even if nothing land, even if some things don't land. I'll still, even if some of it's frustrating, I'll still take that over like people who are just kind of like at this point just cashing in a check, So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, he's right to point out that, like, MJF this year has been, out of all the top talents, like, he's there. Like, he's there every week. Like, he's not wrestling every week. He's definitely stepped up wrestling. He's wrestling a lot more this year. But even still, he's there. He's there a lot. He's there a lot more than a majority of the top stars. You just wish that all the top stars. It's like we always put over Moxley. In recent years, like, he's always there. He's always wrestling. He's always down to do whatever. He's a proper soldier for AEW. And I think obviously MJF, I think he should get his prize for it as well, for like being there and trying to work shit out and trying to do stuff, and and whether it's live segments, whether it's wrestling matches, whether it's trying to come up with new stories and stuff like that, because he's got a lot on his plate at the minute. Darren Walker, £5, appreciate you. Dynamite in Cornet Country tonight. And Ibu, when is the Sunday show back? Only 1 in 7 weeks.
There's no way it's only been 1 in 7.
I had some slight concerns about the Sunday show, because you see the Sunday slot, people. That slot on a Sunday evening, it's a very exclusive, lucrative spot. It's a good spot to have for the wrestling media people. And I'll give it to Ibu and Israel and AO. And so far, they are averaging one every other week. So I can't crucify them just yet. But sometimes it'll be like they'll do 2 in a row and then they won't do one for 3 weeks or some shit like that. So it'll feel like there hasn't been one in forever. But I didn't double check it, but I think I worked out. But every other week it works out. So you've done 7 in 14 weeks or whatever it is.
That's not too bad. I would like to be slightly more consistent in that and do like an every other week or bi-weekly show. Last week I had like actual personal entanglements to attend to, so you can put that one on me. Last week was my fault.
There's other things, there's other factors as well. Like, I know this is a wrestling podcast and everything, but like those of you who are like, who enjoy seeing Israel on the podcast and stuff like that, you only have to look at a page for 2 seconds to see that like this stuff that's going on with Palestine and Israel's like really taking a toll on her, and it's really affecting her. And
yes.
I don't. When you see like the monstrosities that are happening over the world, you don't really feel inclined to like pop in a DMs like, Israel, let's debate wrestling about who's better, CM Punk or Cody Rhodes. Like, it's just it's
absolutely.
There's all kinds of factors.
But that's in the back of my head sometimes when I open wrestling Twitter and I see like wrestling fans like complaining about obviously it's just the nature of Twitter. Like sometimes people just like make certain things like deep personal issues, and like I multiple times this last week, Monty, and I've said this like AO, I'll scroll through seeing someone like whining about something in wrestling or like whining about other wrestling fans saying things, and I'm like, Like, dudes are dying, bro. like I literally just like scrolling Instagram saw like babies being like dug out of rubble and shit, like barely breathing, and dudes.
It's
And
horrible. It's
then
horrible to see.
and then you open Twitter and people are like, I'm tired of these anti-AEW grifters. I'm like, get a fucking grip, you know? Like, just get a fucking grip. Go to work, you know? Like, you woke up in your bed this morning. You know what I mean? Like, you literally woke up in your bed this morning and you have Wi-Fi. The two very basic fundamental freedoms that people overseas can't say that they are afforded when genocide is literally taking place. So just some perspective, you know what I mean? Just some perspective. But yeah, you know, I pray for the Palestinians, absolutely. And yeah, it has affected Israel for sure. But that notwithstanding, I will try to get back to you guys as soon as possible with another episode of Wrestle Purists Face Off.
Yeah, we're always going to try and put our content out and stuff. But like I said, even they are hitting a pretty decent rate. They're still it works out to like every other week that they do a show. So
yep,
I can't. I was ready, Darren. I was ready to get onto the case and message them and be like, "Listen, guys, it's a top slot."
Until you counted,
then I went through, I counted them. I was like, "All right."
That's not bad. Yeah. To me, and this is not like throwing you on another bus. I think Dumb Guy Live's on the same rate at this point.
Yeah, but Dumb Guy Live does like 5 p.m. on a Sunday, and Parker does all of it, you know. And it's like I don't even have to be there. It's like, and
True,
it also scratches an itch for like a very concentrated niche, you know. So it's
Yo, Monty, somebody called Face Off. They said, where was it? Wrestle Purists Battle of the Belts.
Something like that.
Yeah. Face Off is more important to our channel than Battle of the Belts is to AEW, though. You know.
Yeah. Anyway, Will Chisholm, $5. Appreciate you as always. There is a report of Saray in talks with a US with a US company. What dates have y'all heard, and is it AEW?
All indications point to Sukeban.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be quite surprising if it was AEW, to be honest. But I wouldn't tell them no, it was a Pete. She's great.
Yeah, none of us are gonna be like, no, why did Tony sign Saray?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he didn't really work out in WWE for reasons completely out of her control. So yeah,
she got screwed specifically. I can give you the name. It was John Laurinaitis who fucked her over. There you go.
Not shocking at all, is it?
Yep.
Could have got it in about 3 guesses, you know. But yeah, Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate you. Need to end Roddy in the Kingdom segments and get them back in the ring. Yeah, they're really good wrestlers, man. That's the frustrating thing as a Roddy fan. We think coming into the promotion, it was like, you know, fired up. Roddy comes in, Roddy's coming to AEW, the wrestling company, you know. And it's like, you know, he's had a couple good matches, but it's like he's barely wrestled, bro.
Monty,
it's crazy.
Do you realize the irony in that?
It's crazy.
Roddy was there when NXT completely turned into like an absolute like just color splatter shit show, right? He was there in the middle of all that where everything was like over the top and cartoony and like what's going on. And he remained a serious wrestler. If anything, he got more serious. This guy shaved his head, put a mouthpiece on, and just grappled with these.
He had some really good matches, bro. Like the Mellow match was really good. He had a match with Gunther. Yeah, like in 2.0 era, he was still had his work.
It was Roddy and the Creeds versus the three man in Imperium, and it's kind of a sleeper. But the point I'm making is, in this bizarro world fucking sports entertainment show, sports entertainment cartoon, he was still Roderick Strong, serious grappler, and in the professional wrestling promotion, he is Roderick Strong, the cartoon character.
It's tough. But yeah, I really like Roddy Strong when he wrestles, and I think the Kingdom are they're good, bro. They're good. Good in ring, man. Good in ring. I know a lot of people try, but not so much now. To be fair, that's kind of like, that kind of opinion is one that you don't see as much, because people are very, very harsh on Matt Taven. I think that was mainly because he was just kind of put in a very prominent spot at a time when people didn't think that he should have been in that said spot. I'm of course talking about when he was ROH World Champion. When people wanted Redacted to win it instead. Anyway. Matchman 199, appreciate you. Women's titles changed 4 times this year, 5 times at Full Gear. I don't think Toni Storm should win the belt, man.
I don't either. But I wouldn't be surprised if she did.
Yeah, same. That's where I'm at, bro. That's where I'm at.
I get the vibe that Tony Khan is really into this.
What gives that away? The fucking come on, of course he is. He loves it.
Her gallivanting all over the place, and
she's everywhere.
Pulling fruits out of her ass and eating it without peeling them. Literally pulling fruits out of her ass and eating it without peeling it. Yeah.
Oh man.
In black and white.
Will Chisholm, $5. I do wonder how AEW shows would look if Punk was still there. Same. I'm sure it wouldn't make that much difference,
It would, in the sense that he's one of the people that just what you can't take away from him, because there's many things you can take away from him if you'd like to, but one thing you can't take away from him is that he always cared, like almost too much, to the point where it became conflicts with people. Like he really cared.
Same way like MJF, bro.
Yes, Max really cares.
But that wasn't even the point I was getting to. The point I was going to get to was like same way as Max is like, okay, look, Punk wasn't around for long when he was back, but when he was back, he was there basically every week, bro. He was at every taping that he was asked to, and even ones that I'm sure that he just wanted to be at instead. So, I've said it. I've gone on rants about it and stuff, so I don't need to like tire myself out about it. But I do think that like I would love to see like the top stars on a more frequently regular basis with AEW Dynamite. So it's just one of them. It's just you get what you get. But AEW Dynamite is still. It still has its good shows, and I think even not I don't even think they're bad shows. It's like they're just shows that don't seem to have, like, they don't bring me that feeling, like that AEW feeling, which we all know about. You wake up on a Wednesday, you're fired up, you're going to see 3-4 star matches that are all different genres. Like one of them's going to be a lucha match, one of them's going to be Bryan Danielson masterclass, and one of them's going to be like an elite party match. MJF is going to cut a killer promo, and it's like there used to be like a real palpable excitement around Wednesdays, for AEW fans, and I just don't really feel that often anymore.
Not to get nostalgic, but there was a point, Monty, in like the middle of 2021 where in the middle of the week, like on a weekend when you're waiting for Wednesday, like I felt like a crackhead. Like I started like getting itch. Like I needed like more AEW, and it's frankly the reason why I fucking watched Elevation. Like I watched Elevation and Dark purely because I was like, I gotta watch some AEW.
Gotta get some AEW.
Yeah, I gotta get some AEW, and I'd pop out like the 3 1/4 star Elevation match of the week that like kind of got some buzz. I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, hey man, Moriarty and Janela did the dance.
The excitement is definitely different. I think now sometimes with AEW Dynamite, like I said, I think when the shows aren't particularly great, I don't think they get to the point where they're like terrible shows or anything. So it's not even like they have good and bad shows. They have good shows. They have kind of decent shows, and they have okay shows, but you see like once every 4 to 5 weeks or so they'll have like an epic show, and
it always pops me when it happens, because like to me, even when AEW is great these days, it's slightly in a vacuum, but those shows when they happen, like people will kind of like triumphantly go to the timeline like AEW's back. So, you know, and then like the next week's just kind of like a normal show.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. It's like one thing I've always said about AEW is the way they follow up on things. Whether that's a great show, whether that's momentum of a wrestler, whether that's a heel or face turn, whether that's an angle, whatever it is, I just don't think they're a great follow up promotion. You know,
I will say, All Out in Chicago up to Wrestle Dream, those two pay-per-views and all the TVs in between, it really did feel like they had their shit together. The build to Wrestle Dream, like a vision for what the monthly pay-per-view builds could look like. I thought like the show is really organized creatively, and
it had to be, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's not
now,
like they could be like, "Oh, we're pushing the All Out pay-per-view," but you know what I mean? All Wrestle Dream back, sorry.
Yeah,
So
but like,
they had to be disciplined in that period.
The TVs leading the Full Gear don't feel as I guess disciplined and organized, personally speaking. But I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see how things shake out, I suppose. I really do wonder what they're gonna do with this tag title situation, because it kind of seems like a mess right now. You know.
Yeah. You know, there has been talk of Big Bill and Ricky versus the Young Bucks at Full Gear, but that's not yet to be confirmed. And I think they're still kind of thinking about that, because that's kind of like the, you know, it's like the first thing you think of. Do you know what I mean? In the sense, not in the sense of like, oh, that's the best thing you can do. It's just kind of like, well, FTR have got the belts and they're the current champions, and the Bucks have got a title shot, so just do that. You know, it's like, how do you get from point A to point B? You know, yeah, they've got the title shot, but like, how can you make it interesting? You know, do you keep the belts on Ricky and Big Bill, or do you transition them to someone in the meantime? Like, I don't know. Do you just put them back on FTR? Like, I don't know if they can take them, because obviously Cash is carrying some nuts at the moment, but he could still wrestle. I just not sure to what percentage is that at the moment. Obviously, Dax is Dax ever 100%.
No.
When do you think the last time Dax was 100%? Definitely WWE.
2000.
Maybe the start of like AEW or something, but like,
Yeah, I was gonna say like pandemic AEW.
I don't know. Trust the process 34. Appreciate you 4.99. I was with you earlier about Max being the wrestler of the year, but don't see how anyone can say it's anyone other than Ospreay at this point.
Yeah,
From an in-ring perspective, but like 100% Ospreay. But there is actually an award for that, so it's like
most outstanding.
Yeah, so it's like,
I do feel like his performances now are starting to get so great that you have to give him even the main one.
Yeah, 100%.
It's happened before, Monty. There's been a couple of times where like a guy's just so exceedingly beast that they're like, all right, you're just the wrestler of the year. 2002, Monty, they gave it to Kurt Angle, literally just because like he had like a 4-star match every week, and they're like, fuck.
Yeah, but he was still like one of the top guys in WWE at the time, you know.
Yeah, he was, but he didn't win the world title till like December, you know, in 2002. They just gave it to him, Monty, purely because they started the brand split. Well, but it's what Dave credited him for was they did the brand split in 2002, and he was credited with making SmackDown a premium show that by the end of the year was surpassing Raw in the ratings. And so they're like, all right, you move ratings, and you have a 4-star match every fucking week. You're the rest of the year.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Will hasn't quite had he's had the in-ring opportunities to have a wrestler of the year case, you know. But again, it's kind of like, you know, say if he had held the IWGP title all year, you know, then it would be a little bit different, or something like that. But I think, you know, he's having a great reign with this US UK title at the moment. But it's just it's a different thing. But that's just kind of my answer into like, how can anyone say it's anyone other than Ospreay? It's because there's an award that is definitely Ospreay's, which is most outstanding performer, which is you know, oh shit. You disappeared off my screen for a sec though. But yeah. Similar to like Shingo Takagi in 2021, you know. He was an animal. Like his output in 2021 was like unbelievable, you know, and he was the most outstanding wrestler. But I think in ring nobody could touch him. So I don't know. Max obviously is Max. I think he's still in there. Let's have Max in there. Glick Fowler. What? Why can't you just say that, Ibu? Why are you private chatting me things?
No, sorry. Yeah, just take me off the screen and have me right back.
Okay, one sec.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Why do you need to do that?
So on the YouTube feed, I lost my profile picture for whatever reason. Oh, I still don't have. I don't know why YouTube does this,
Now,
Monty.
what would? It's not YouTube, bro.
No, but
You just need to set it yourself. Anyway, this does not matter. It's a picture. If you want it, if you care, you'd be on camera, not me. Anyway, Glick Foley 499. Appreciate it. If we're being real, Max has had to carry the company and make up for Tony's shambolic booking. Take away the Max stuff, and AEW product look is suspect right now. Yeah, Max has definitely shouldered a lot of what AEW are doing right now. But yeah, obviously that comes with responsibility of being the top guy and world champion. But also, even with that considered, he's carrying a lot of what they're doing right now, for better and for worse at times, you know. So he's doing a lot. He's trying his damn hardest. So I don't think anyone can take that away from him at the moment, to be honest, which is something that people definitely did try to take away from him once upon a time. So, you know. Darren Walker, £2. Appreciate you again. How do you guys think Mariah May will do in AEW?
I think she'll do well.
I think she'll come in and I think she'll get pushed. I think her in-ring is pretty decent. I still think she's putting it together. But, you know, I don't know, man.
I think she's gonna
if I'm being completely honest, it's hard to be like optimistic for like any woman coming into AEW. You know, I don't know. Don't know what to tell you.
I think
Maybe she'll wrestle Athena.
I think she'll make it because what's gonna happen is she's gonna come in, and she is an attractive woman, and she's gonna get paired with Tony Storm probably, and the Coomer adjacent AEW Twitter posters are gonna love and lap up anything she does, and she'll get a lot of TV time, and she's good at the character stuff, and she'll probably tag with Tony and things like that, and again, she's just gonna get. I think she's gonna get a lot of time. Like, expect a lot of Mariah May versus Sky Blue and Mariah May versus Willow and people like that. And so, if nothing else, I think she's gonna get a lot of time. I think she'll get over. I don't know how many great matches she's going to have, but I just think I do think she'll get over. You know, and which means if you get over, that means you made it. So,
Piers 199. Oh no. Would love to be on the show soon, man. I can't do that, mate. Sorry. Andrew the Giant, £5. Appreciate you. Am I going to miss out on Ivar versus Gunther in favour of Gunther versus Miz? I want to see Ivar and Valhalla burning Imperium merch. I don't ask for much. I think we'll still get Ivar.
We will get that match. We will get that match. But just in terms of sentiment, I'm still with you. Generally, I've gotten the shit kicked out of me over the last few days for just burying Mike Mizanin.
You ask for it every time, bro.
Yeah, I get disturbed. It's remarkable to me. Monty,
every couple of months, like crap work, bro.
Yeah, it's remarkable how respected he still is by people, and I guess we're in the minority because he popped the quarter, Monty. Miz TV with Gunther.
Hey man, I'm not a.
They went head to head.
I don't hate the Miz. I don't like the Miz, but I don't hate the Miz either. I think
he's offensive. I think he's offensive.
Yeah, I know you do, and I completely understand why. But
yeah. So he popped
I don't really care.
Going head to head with. They went head to head with Monday Night Football, which is on ABC, because this year it's on national TV. It's not on cable, and so they went ahead with a national TV football game. And the World Series, which was on national television at the same time as well. Combined, I want to say 26 million viewers watching sports, and they popped the 0.5 for his segment. which is like ridiculous.
And he is a star. Like I don't think anyone even takes that away from him. Really, even the people that think he's terrible, it's like you have to at least concede that he is like a name. Like he's somebody. He's a recognizable face as far as WWE stars go.
Rob is a piece of shit.
What's he put in the chat?
You'll see it in an upcoming super chat.
Okay. Anyway, Lobo MBS 499. Appreciate you. What could be the important TK announcement? Could it be the women's division related? Could it be women's division related? My bad, people. Readings off today.
There are. I can tell you guys this: the majority of the AEW locker room have no clue what it is. They have been kayfabed. Probably for the best.
Tony loves that. Wow. Jerry Lynn told you, bro.
Yeah. He doesn't want to leak it.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. So people don't know, but two different people speculated it was a Mariah May signing.
One of them with AEW, one of them not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
No
idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same as last week.
What if it's like women's tag titles or something?
I don't know, bro. Nyla Rose has been pushing for women's tag titles.
I don't know if they should even do that. To be honest with you, I've never seen that.
You need to put the division in a place. Like I like the idea of AEW women's tag titles, but I like more the idea of getting the division into a place where you can create a more organic demand for those tag titles.
Yeah. Right now is just not the time. I don't.
Yeah, you need to like steady. Not even steady. It's just you want momentum going upwards with the women's division. I think at the moment it's kind of like whatever, So we'll see. TK 199. Appreciate your percentage of that Punk is under the mask versus Punk being at Survivor Series. But he's definitely not the one under the mask. So
he's not the devil. No,
he's not the one under the mask. So that's like 0%.
I'll
give it 1% of the chance of like it's not absolutely impossible that Tony Khan has a mad brainwave one day and just fucking signs him back and just does it. But I very, 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 very much doubt that's going to happen. But you can have 1%. When Punk being at Survivor Series, I've always remained between 80 and 85% that he's going to be coming to WWE. Survivor Series, I've never really given a really strong prediction because I've never been convinced it'll be Survivor Series. It's always felt a bit too soon. Even though Chicago makes it feel perfect, which I wouldn't complain at all if he did return at Chicago at a Big 4 pay-per-view.
What do you think they're cooking with this Nakamura shit?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
These vague, like, I know you're out there. Like,
it could be Randy.
I can't lie. If it's Randy, I want him to just kick the fucking shit out of him.
He will.
I don't want to watch Nakamura and Randy just have a match. Like Randy
will kick the shit out of him. Respect Randy Orton, bro. Come on.
Just kick the fucking go stupid. Do the punt. Do that DDT. Do it on the fucking floor. Like RKO on the announce table and shit.
Anyway, Will Chisholm, $20. Appreciate it. Sheeta may lose another title again. I say that because she's having all these title matches on TV, so she may be losing the title at pay-per-view. She's AEW's Asuka when she's holding the title for someone else.
That's an interesting comparison.
I think that's actually quite a valid warning sign because it is what they've done before. I think it's exactly what they've done with the last reign that Sheeta had. So,
yeah, absolutely. It does feel like throw her a bone. She's a good worker. Let her hold this belt while we're preparing for the person we really want to go to next. It's kind of the booking of Japanese women's wrestlers in America in the modern day, actually. Where, like, even Io Sky, I get the feeling, too, even though maybe, hopefully not, I get the feeling, too, she's just kind of having this reign of, like, we respect you, you deserve it, you can work hard and have all these TV defenses, but frankly, when like a real star walks in and it's time to get it back, like Bianca Belair, now it's time to give it to Mama before WrestleMania season. So it's
You
not.
think Bianca wins it back?
I get the feeling she wins it back.
Do you?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think Io's gonna win. What's the chat think? Chat. Bianca or Io? Who's winning? Not who you want to win. Who do you think is going? Who do you think Hunter Hearst Helmsley is going to put over in Saudi?
That's
I need, and I ain't moving. I ain't moving off this topic until I get at
Bianca's
least 5 replies in the chat.
Bianca's not losing clean. So what do you do?
Bro, she's part of a heel group. Do something. She's a heel. Yeah, Io, not one Bianca yet. Are they wrestling at Crown Jewel? Yes, they are. Bianca will win by DQ. I guess that's an interesting. Jenny Omega, good friend. She thinks Bianca. She's with you, Bill.
Because Bianca got written off 2 months ago, getting Pillmanized by the heel group.
But don't you think it would be a bit like sudden to just like, oh, I'm back now, belt's mine, like like.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like
you got to at least fuck her out of it once.
Bianca gets near Cody level like Superman protection, and then I don't have a problem with that. You should do that with your top stars, but because that's the case,
I think she's getting fucked out of it. That's what I actually think. Whether that's an Io win or a Bianca win by DQ, I think Io walks out with the belt, and Bianca. I don't think it's clean because I think there is absolutely a lot to like Bianca probably winning it soon, but just not that soon.
I'll tell you what. Bayley has established on her social media that she will not be accompanying Io to Saudi. So that could mean one of two things. Either it's
she's also a worker, brother.
Yes. It could either be a red herring where they do something where, like, what if Kyrie is the person that helps you there? What if
what about Charlotte can cost Bianca?
That's what I want, because Charlotte should be a heel, and I would like Charlotte versus Bianca at Survivor Series. I think that's a good big time non-title main event women's match. So that's my preference personally. Is just Charlotte, screws Bianca loses, Io retains, and then you do something like, maybe in a perfect world it was up to me, right? You would do like Io versus Kyrie or something like that at Survivor Series, and then like Charlotte versus Bianca non-title, something along those lines.
Showtime Spurs, $5. Appreciate you. My entire feed is AEW criticism of the AEW criticism of the criticism of the AEW criticism. I hate everything and everyone. I don't know how I didn't batch that, but I actually read that out perfectly, so I'm patting myself on the back. I earned my $5 there, even though YouTube take like fucking half of it, but
it is a lot of takes and people's takes on takes and stuff like that. Yeah,
welcome to Twitter, brother.
Personally speaking, I think it's frustrating when people can't just be mature enough to like let people have their fucking criticisms or whatever. Like when people get mad at them and like defensive, like I think it's really annoying and childish. But I also at the same time try to, at least from my own personal standpoint, like be like, try not to be hyperbolic and try to have perspective and be measured, and also not be like overtly whiny about it either. So yeah, but at the same time, that's why like the thing that I said was more so just, I don't like getting mad at pro wrestling. And like Cody Rhodes losing to Roman is something worth being mad about. But like on a week-to-week basis, I try
like it's different for everyone, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, but I guess so. What I'm trying to say is, like, do you remember how like late stage Vince WWE on those Raw reviews, Dave Meltzer wasn't raging. Like he was just so like, he just knew what it was. He knew the game. He knew what the score was. You know what I mean? So like, Bryan would be like, they did another DQ in the main event, and Dave was like, yeah, that's what they do. Like he'd be like that. I'm at a place.
Bryan would try like poke at him and get something out of it. Well,
yeah, Bryan.
Like, we've seen him do it many times, and
Dave, there was 5 on this show, and he'd be like, yeah, that's their finish. Like, but this is horrible. He's like, yeah, it's not good. Like, but he's not mad, with me. And I was trying to communicate this, and people thought this was another like AEW Doom post, because that's what people do. I said today that like I'm aware of like AEW has a couple more holes in their booking than they used to. They're not as detail oriented, and personally, instead of getting mad about it, I'm just kind of like, okay, I will pop for the match graphics and pop for the matches, and I'm not going to rage about Willow Nightingale getting a title shot for no reason. I'm not going to scream about it, you know? So
I did get pretty mad on Monday, but, you know.
Got a little mad on Monday, but
you went on a rant and then messaged the private chat in all caps. Like, one more super chat, then we're gonna get into some recaps and stuff because we're approaching the hour mark.
Yeah, we gotta get it moving.
But then we will, of course, get to the rest of the super chats, so keep them coming in. Will Chisholm, $10, appreciate you as always. With Asuka, Io, and Kairi coming soon, do you see Triple H trying to build back trust with Japanese wrestlers so they may want to come in? Because Vince and Johnny Ace fucked things up.
The short answer is yes. The short answer is yes.
Yeah, I'll agree.
He's very aware of the perception that... So, I can tell you this. He resents the idea that WWE doesn't know how to handle Japanese and Mexican wrestlers. Like, this makes him mad. And it's part of the motivation for why he called him Dragon Lee.
Beast. Come on, Dragon Lee, just to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Dragon Lee is awesome, you know.
He's not Tony Khan level online, but he absolutely has a chip on his shoulder about, like, the narratives about the company. And so he's very driven to, like, dispel certain things that he finds to be outdated criticisms. And those two that I just named are two of the big ones. So yeah, for him, it's just like, fuck out of here. Watch what we do with Dragon Lee. Just watch. I'll fucking show you. You think I'm just gonna screw Io after a month? Fuck out of here. So that's his thing.
God bless. We'll see how it goes with upcoming Japanese acquisitions or whatever the fuck they want to do. All right, let's. Do you want to talk about Raw NXT first? Because we're not gonna do a segment by segment recap. We're just gonna talk about, like, highlights or anything notable. So NXT Halloween Havoc or Raw, Ibu, take your pick.
This is gonna be weird, but let's actually start by just talking about the Creeds in general this week, because they had matches.
Start with Raw. Just start with Raw, but yeah, okay.
I'm talking about the fucking Creeds. So,
Creeds.
Duke University amateur wrestlers, you know, they're basically
undefeated.
NIL kids, you know. They got called up this week, Monty, and they had their match on Raw, and I'm watching this thing, man, and I think about memories cascade through my mind about their first match. I remember their first match, Monty. Late stage Black and Gold NXT 2021. And I'm like, man, NXT needs some fucking young guys, man. And Malcolm Bivens walks them out. And you just see these two big kids in black singlets, just not knowing what the fuck they're doing, just throwing two jack-offs around.
Yeah.
And then, like, just did, like, some type of slam move that wasn't, like, even a wrestling move. It was just kind of like a throw thing. And then it just ended the match. And I was just like, I like it. You know? And they started to grow really fast in 2.0. And I became a big fan of these guys really quickly. The Creeds, I just love the Creeds, man. They're like, something's wrong with you if you don't like them, to be honest with you, because they just elicit so much joy, in my opinion. They're just such a fun, charming act for wrestling. Julius Creed just feels like this, like, really hyper ambitious kid that, like, can do a lot, doesn't even know his own strength and athleticism, and just kind of goes for it to the point where he's willing to fucking paralyze himself. God forbid, but he's just going for it. And then you have, like, Brutus, who's like a big baby, you know? And man, I love these kids. They got called up, much as well deserved, a giant injection of interest and fun into Raw. And they faced the Alpha Academy. And I just had a good time with this, man. I thought this was such an effective debut, Monty. Like, you get the early grappling with Chad and Julius, and then the Alpha Academy kind of takes control for a little bit. And if you remember, me and you were both watching on StreamYard, and you were like, I kind of need more shine from the Creeds. But seeing as the way the full thing was laid out, it was kind of perfect, because it's like, you know, now that NXT is a proper developmental again, you know, the developmental guys should be working from underneath against the main roster veterans. But ultimately, they did prevail. And as the match kind of showed you a little bit of who these guys were and slowly bubbled into like the big explosion of like, the big moves, and then the 450 from Julius, the moonsault from Gable, and all the big stuff. This was just a treat. I thought this was a very effective debut. And I think right now, because there's genuine synergy between Shawn Michaels and Paul Levesque, with like getting NXT over as a brand, getting it as a show that's like destination and a ratings draw again. We might be able to set up a system now, Monty, where finally like we're gonna get a couple call-ups in a row that make it. And the trust from the main roster audience to like even care about NXT and invest in their prospects was dead for a long time. And 2 years ago, I used to always say when people would deem 2.0 a failure, I would say like we cannot determine whether 2.0 is a failure or not until we see how these guys do when it matters on the main roster. And now we're at a place where they nailed it with the creeds, and I actually genuinely foresee this being the case with a couple other guys that are down there that are really talented. So thumbs up for that. My big takeaway from Raw overall was the creeds. My other big takeaway was DIY, who I thought had a nice debut. And then what else? Ricochet. He's Hunter
Ricochet
clearly,
and Dom.
Hunter clearly like still wants to keep him in the mix. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He wants to keep him in the mix. He loves obviously his athleticism. What it really is he knew he made him work in NXT, and I think he's just like, I know I could do it again. And so yeah, he's still kind of chipping away at that. And look, Dominic's a heat magnet, so obviously the match is going to get over. I wonder if he's going to be in the War Games, Monty, to be honest. Because he was in the NXT one, and he's just doing fucking crackhead Jack Evans ass moves off the top of the cage and shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to implement him here. I know I'm jumping around. I thought the opening segment was solid because of Sami Zayn's really passionate promo, which was like an allegory for the conflicts in Palestine. Yeah, that was the big stuff. The third hour kind of died off for me until Monty.
Hold on.
Oh, what's up?
Miss TV. Babyface Miz. Yeah, Miz was full babyface in this, bro. It was quite something to see. He was at least trying to be full babyface anyway. But yeah, it seems like he's going to be gunning for Gunther, and I don't see this being like a full-on feud. I think it will just be much like many of Gunther's recent defenses, where it will just be like a 2-3 week thing, and it will culminate with the Gunther just beating him on Raw or something one week. So, yeah, and Ibu give his opinions, and got the shit kicked out of him for his opinions again.
Yes, I did. Yes,
but yeah, Gunther and Miz seems to be the IC title match.
Interestingly, they're doing sports entertainment versus pro wrestling on TV with Gunther and Miz, and what better representatives for both philosophies than those two? Miz, nothing about Miz resembles professional wrestling, and nothing about Gunther resembles a sports entertainer. So the interesting thing though is like last year, Triple H did this a lot where he would have his wrestlers talk, he would talk through his wrestlers, and they would kind of get off his narratives, and it was very much thinly veiled shots at his father-in-law's philosophies. He would use Kevin Owens to talk to Austin Theory and get his shit off. He'd use Drew McIntyre when Drew McIntyre said, he said like, we're wrestlers in a freaking wrestling ring. Let's just wrestle. And he dropped the mic and shit. And but in this case, Triple H's side is the heel side in Gunther, and fucking the Miz is the babyface, which I don't love. I don't see the need for a Miz redemption angle or story. Twitter's gonna be really annoying for the next couple weeks. I'm going to see a lot of effusive, toxic positivity towards Mike Mizanin that I just don't need to look at. But people like the fucking guy, so we'll see. I'll tell you what, Gunther will probably get something superhuman out of the guy.
Maybe.
I think he'll get something out of him. Unfortunately,
yeah, Miz will probably eat some chops like a true champ.
He better
stuff like that sort of shit.
Worth mentioning, Monty, is the Drew Seth stuff. It's very good at this
point. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kill But yeah, Drew Seth stuff. Obviously, Drew video package. Good stuff. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Um,
for those that missed this, it was generally just a summary of what's been going on from the perspective of Drew McIntyre. And COVID-19 is a big part of the story. Essentially, it's just kind of like the peak of my career, which should be the happiest time of my life, was not, because I was alone and I was having my best moments in front of nobody. You know, I had the big moment at the Royal Rumble where I eliminated Brock Lesnar and I won the Rumble. And then ultimately at WrestleMania, when I beat Brock, there was nobody there. And when the fans came back, my moment was past. And when I thought I had a second crack at it, and it was you know, I was going to win the championship, the Bloodline fucked me over. And I'm not going to forgive them no matter what anyone else thinks about that. And so it's good narrative framing, because he essentially said, no more broken dreams. I'm going to get it this time. And he's a desperate guy. And it's very plausible motivations. But what I liked, Monty, was they had Seth do a counter promo. And I'm not always big on these Seth promos, but whoever wrote this one did a good job, because he made the point that, like, yes, it sucked for you that the pandemic, you know, took away, like, you know, maybe like some of your best moments of your career, but like other people were like literally dying. You know, he said that like people literally didn't know where their next paycheck was going to come, where they'd be able to do groceries. People were losing loved ones. And Seth Rollins being the character to introduce this perspective makes Drew's plight slightly whiny. And by being slightly whiny, it's a heel tinge, which is perfect, because right now his character is leaning heel, you know? So it's actually pretty mature storytelling from that standpoint.
mm-hmm.
It just subtly paints Drew as kind of a crybaby in that standpoint. So I like that. I was a fan of that whole deal there.
I think also worth mentioning. This wasn't what I was going to say, but Xia Li KO'd Candice LeRae.
Yeah,
that
was
a call back to the NXT KO with Mercedes Martinez. But
you remember that? Did you caught that's what they were doing?
No, it's exactly what they did.
No, it is. Like,
but yeah,
Hunter.
See where that goes. You know,
Hunter's memory for his own lore is so funny to me. You know,
he loves it, bro.
Like,
he loves it.
Who could possibly like keep that in mind? You know, like 2020.
I remember, bro. It was crazy. She KO'd. It's the most notable thing I remember as Xia Li's ever done. Even though it was unfortunate for Mercedes, thank God she was okay. But that, bro. Look, I said it last week when we was talking about her in like the Becky segment. Bro, it was like a UFC KO of the year level knockout that she did to Mercedes Martinez. It was like a spinning heel kick. It was fucking crazy. KO'd her. Stiff. Mercedes went stiff, bro. Like, it was crazy.
Paul Levesque is probably gonna like emulate a fucking Sanity 2017 angle with Nikki Cross in a couple weeks, like a freak. Like this dude, man. He is so self-referential. You know,
yeah, he is. So anyway, speaking of Xia Li, I think it's worth noting. This is what I was going to say. Becky Lynch got another good promo, because it's what Becky Lynch does. You know.
That rocked.
Yeah, she mentioned that she defended the NXT title more times than Rhea and Roman have this year. She doesn't need the belt; the belt needs her. Top girl shit, top lady, top woman.
She said,
Becky's the man. You know,
in my 40 whatever days. She was like, in my 40 whatever days as NXT champion, I defended this thing more than Roman Reigns, more than Rhea Ripley. And she said, like, she basically was saying that, like, I'm actually doing the work to change the culture around here and actually she said, like, be like a catalyst for change here. And I gave the people like those opportunities and stuff like that. And it was just fucking beast. To be honest. Yeah.
Becky's pretty good, you know.
She's pretty good. Sometimes doesn't really get her flowers, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's just wrestling Twitter for you, I guess. NXT Halloween Havoc Part 2. Ilya Dragunov retained the NXT World Title versus Carmelo Hayes in their third match. Another really, really good match that delivered once again. Trick Williams returned, distracted. And it wasn't confirmed, but it's fair to think that he knows what Melo did, assuming that Melo is the person that attacked him a couple of weeks ago. So that story is obviously picking up, and it was a really good main event, wasn't it, Ibo?
Yeah, they did it again. I was wondering what the TV version of this would look like, and the answer is just more of what they've been doing. just get in the PC. Dragunov does not do this whole thing where it's like, oh, when the bright lights are brightest, then I go in this mode. No, he just goes hard everywhere. You know, what we've learned in these takeover or shows that are like outside of the PC is that his act and his approach does translate to big venues, which is nice to know. You know, but yeah, you get back to this intimate space and it's more of the same. There wasn't that much heat at the very beginning for this match, but he just kind of like.
I think it's because they got off to a fast start and then brought it back down a bit. You know, because they started immediately with like fucking suplexes and
German
shit.
suplexes.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
this was like some stuff at the beginning was slightly mistimed and it was like a little sloppy. But the rough around the edges nature of this, I thought actually kind of added a little bit to it. To be honest, like I thought it was nice and scrappy and physical. And what I like is like Dragunov gets the grit out of Carmelo Hayes. Because sometimes Melo will kind of get like really cute and, you know, arguably too cute for his own good in certain matches. But here he's not trying to be stylistic. He's just trying to match the guy's intensity. And I do actually like it because he is we've learned that he is able to like lay an elbow in if he needs to and like do a suplex or a chop. So yeah, man, Dragunov is tremendous. Melo did really well here. They just kind of fought each other and then started taking really dangerous bumps in the closing stretch. There was that spiking DDT on the apron that Melo did. And then Melo caught a Death Valley driver on the fucking apron. He caught the H-bomb through the table, which was sick. This dude Dragunov with all his pulsating muscles and veins is on the barricade. And he's just like rising for it. He's like, oh, does the move, breaks the table. So yeah, I thought this was a great match, actually. This show overall was better than last week, off the back of having two very strong wrestling matches to bookend the program.
Yeah, it was another great defense, another great match from Ilya Dragunov, which is at the surprise of nobody. And when Trick Williams showed up at the end, Carmelo Hayes definitely looked very guilty, you know. So, like I said, we'll see how that all plays out. The NXT Women's Breakout Tournament final took place, and Lola Vice defeated not Kiana James. Oh shit, what's it? Kalani Jordan. There we go. NXT Breakout Women's Champion Lola Vice. Obviously, she gets a title shot of her choosing, which will obviously just be the NXT Women's title. Yeah. It was, Lola Vice, obviously, she's got a lot of love on social media. She came in with a name as well, obviously, from competing in Bellator and in MMA and having a lot of fanfare over there as well. So, not that surprising. I do think, obviously, both women are pretty green. Kalani Jordan is quite impressive, though, obviously, athletically. Lola Vice does have the showings of someone who just keeps getting a little bit better and a little bit better. She's not accelerating her progress the way someone like Tiffany Stratton did when they were, coming up in NXT, but she's coming along. And
Monty, I saw a really funny tweet where a guy was like, "So is Lola Vice's gimmick just that she does MMA and has a big ass?" And then like everyone in the coach was like, "Fire, beast, love it."
Oh, that's always been a gimmick. That was a gimmick in MMA. I don't know.
Knock someone out and just does a little dance.
She's charismatic though, man. She's charismatic. She's coming along in ring. We'll see how it goes. It's just one of those. Another one, It's another PC talent that has potential. So, and on the other side as well, Kalani Jordan, exactly the same. Another PC talent that has a lot of potential. So, we'll see how that plays out. Breakout tournament. Tiffany Stratton took out Fallon Henley before their match. I thought she looked really good in that angle. Tiffany did. Had some like real sport to it, etc. Obviously, that match will be done at a later date. Nathan Frazier versus Dominic Mysterio for the North American title. Dominic Mysterio got the win.
Frazier, I like this Halloween costume.
Dom had like these like white fluffy boots on. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, he came out in the ex-con outfit, similar to his Mania one, but with less bells and whistles, He was just cuffed by Rhea Ripley,
Yes, he was.
But yeah, they had their match. Another defense for Dominic Mysterio. I don't think anyone was too much buying into Frazier getting a win, but
I wonder who was the final destination guy to beat Dom. like
Apparently he's
permanently.
been called. Where's Lee, bro? He came back after the match. I think that'll be it. Because if you're gonna have Wesley go away for a bit, and for him to come back and have that bout, which is quite. Not that the bout's synonymous with him; he's synonymous with it. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, he made it
it's
his.
the
He made it his.
so it makes sense for him to go away after his confidence was low and everything to come back and go after the bout that started his upward trajectory. So
I guess it's almost like the NA title for Wesley is like the TNT belt for Darby, where it's like that's just his belt and like he goes for it and all that type of stuff.
But yeah, man. I think it'll be Wesley because I'd be very surprised if they were bringing Wesley back without the caller and having go for the NA title just for him to lose the damn. Like, I won't see the point in that. Bron Breakker killed Mr. Stone. God bless.
This is a match of the night.
Bron Breakker, yeah, he killed Mr. Stone. I don't know how else to describe that other than that. Von Wagner came back at the end with his head bandaged and everything, looking like Frankenstein or some shit. He tried to do the steps thing back to Bron Breakker, tried to give him the ultimate receipt, but Bron Breakker managed to get out of there. And obviously, it seems like Von Wagner and Bron Breakker are going to be having their match. When this feud first started, it kind of felt like it was going to be Bron Breakker's kind of like, what do you call it, Bill? Like his last feud, his last match, in NXT.
So. Yeah, his swan song. This one, this Wagner deal.
I think he's gonna put over Wagner, bro. So
on the way out.
if he just kills Wagner, that would be very funny. But
that'd be so. The thing is, I did catch as a backstage segment where Von was like, "No, Stone, I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna fight. I gotta fight."
Yeah, and it was all shaky still.
And this guy's like, well, "What's wrong, Von?" And he's like, "Nothing, not nothing, man. I'm good." And he's holding his head. So what if Von just like fucking
pile drivers?
That'd be great. That'd be great. Listen, what they should again. I'm an asshole, so it was me. He pile drives him, and he's banned from NXT. He's just been banished. And then he's deemed a free agent, right? And then you have like Adam Pearce maybe asked by an interview by Jackie Redmond. She's like, "What do you think of Bron Breakker?" And he's just kind of like, I'm a big fan of Bron as a prospect, but based on his recent exploits in NXT, he's someone way too dangerous for my locker room, and I don't want to endanger the safety of the Raw superstars. And then meanwhile, you have a SmackDown where they go, big announcement from Nick Aldis. He's just like, "We're not cowards over here. We want men. We want fighters, the most dangerous wrestlers in the world. It doesn't matter." And so the newest SmackDown signing, Bron Breakker. He walks in and shit, signs the deal. He has a big chuckle, shakes his hand with that big smug grin he has, cuts a promo, and yeah, man, says that everybody's, basically calls everyone in the locker room a bitch or something like that. Maybe has a run-in with Kevin Owens backstage, who wants to test him on that. That's real business, Monty.
I mean, it's not your worst. It's not your worst picture.
It's not.
It's not the worst. But we'll finish up our NXT highlights. It hasn't been a proper recap, But table ladder scares: the Gazas versus the Creeds. This was a, what do people call? This was a hoot.
Mm-hmm.
This was a great. This had me fired up, bro. Because it opened the show, and like fucking Julius is taking insane bumps through ladders and fucking all kinds of bumps to the outside. People are going through tables. It went. This was a wild one, Ibu.
Yeah. They just took dumb meathead bumps. And the Garzas brought the finesse to the match. All the slick moves and kicks and stuff. And the Creeds were there to break things. And they broke things over and over.
Did.
Over and over and over.
Julius nearly broke his own back. So
yes, this is his last NXT match, and he tried to paralyze himself. This ruled, man. This fucking ruled. Both these teams should be on the main roster, if you ask me. Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of Angel Garza. I've been for years, and I think Humberto Carrillo's finally like kind of come into his own. When he first got kind of like brought to the main roster, like he just was not ready at all. But now I think he gets it. So I'm actually a big fan of the Garzas. I think SmackDown could use a heel team like them, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think they'd have better. Funny enough, I think they'd be good because like I don't love the Street Profits as heels, to be honest with you. And like, I actually don't think they have great chemistry with the LWO, and they kind of just have these okay matches on TV that just don't work for me. And it just really feels like the Street Profits are playing heel purely out of necessity, rather than it being their natural thing. And so, if you just brought more heel teams to SmackDown, they could just move into their natural role of just being like a fun team. Yeah, I would just call these guys up. I think, and plus they do lucha, so it's like, oh, it's perfect. You know what I mean? They could base for Santos and Rey and those types of guys. But this is a really good, fun opener. Yeah, they just broke stuff and took big bumps and did creative, cool things. And Dave's gonna give it like 4.25 stars or something. And the Creeds are having a great week. They had a great first match on Raw that advertised to the main roster viewers like, hey, you want to see more of this? We'll watch him in a TLC match tomorrow on NXT.
I think Julius has teased SmackDown on Friday as well. So.
Yes, he did. Hopefully they just beat up Theory and Waller, you know?
Yeah, man. I'm all for it. Shout out the Creeds. This is their week, you know. Orange Cassidy versus Claudio could probably ruin that tonight, but you know, I won't be scared to vote for them for my wrestlers of the week if it all goes well, you know. It all goes well on Friday. So because the match with Alpha Academy is like, it's a good match. It's not like a 4.5 star or anything, but it's a good match.
Really effective debut.
I have like a 3 3/4 with the Alpha Academy on Raw. Then I'd probably go 4 last night. Then if they do something good on Friday as well, that's 3 matches. And it's not like they took it easy, bro. Like that match yesterday, like I'm sure everyone's seen it on Twitter now, but Julius is back after that ladder pump was looking like Bryan Danielson's chest after a few good chops, you know. It was fun.
Absolutely.
For the love of the game, though, man. For the love of the game. Big Creeds fan.
Julius has some Cody Rhodes in him in terms of just being like just like a daredevil beast. No, like, you know what, Cody would just go through flaming tables in AEW and flip off like moonsault.
Yeah, he takes bumps, you know. Anyway, AEW Dynamite preview. It's worth mentioning, absolutely, but Bryan Danielson, according to Tony Schiavone on the AEW Control Center, has he's undergone his orbital bone surgery or whatever it is he needed doing, and he'll be back later in the year apparently. So that's, I guess, somewhat promising that he's definitely going to be back later on in the year. Well, obviously, nothing's ever definite, but, you know, it's expected he'll be back before the end of the year, meaning that he's only going to be out for, well, that's 8 weeks maximum because that's how long is left of the year. Yeah, Bryan, very upset about it. You know, we expressed this on Monday, but this is just the latest update. He's undergone surgery, so... best wishes to Bryan Danielson. Hope he has a speedy recovery. We love Bryan Danielson here at Regular.
It has just been announced for AEW Dynamite, Monty. We will hear live from the Rated R superstar, Adam Copeland.
Okay, well, yeah, we're doing our Dynamite preview. So, what do you think? Yeah. What do you think Adam Edge is going to say, Bill?
Sting is going to push him to make a decision and join their team for the trios match at Full Gear. Edge will be hesitant. Christian will come out, and Christian may potentially do something so heinous that it pushes Edge to to do the match. What if they concertoed Ric Flair? You know Rick would want to take that bump.
Give him an excuse to blade.
Yes.
Rick's going to blade on time.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Rick
it's not completely out of the question. It would not surprise me at all.
He's been concertoed in angles like 4 times already in wrestling. in late 05, like he did it, and then he did it again when Rated RKO double concertoed him on a Raw. And every time he gets concerto, it's funny, Monty, because like when people get concerto, they don't blade, they just take it and like act paralyzed. Rick, when he takes it, he always blades. So it looks like you just fucking decapitated the guy and squished his skull. So yeah,
who knows?
You know,
Who knows, man? But yeah, it seems like Ric Flair is going to be around in AEW, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do see him here if Sting gets involved. Hikaru Shida versus Willow Nightingale. I know this caused quite a lot of discourse on Twitter because Willow literally lost the number one contenders match like last week, and now she's getting a world title shot against Shida. A very fair, valid criticism that some people have kind of taken to heart. I don't think that means anyone saying that the match is going to be bad or anything, because I'm pretty confident that the match is going to be at least like good to very good. Could be like really, really good.
hopefully, man. Hopefully, I'm a
Yeah,
big
two really good workers, man. Big fan of Willow. Always like to see.
I don't think it'll
Sean,
be.
you know. But
I don't think it'll be great because the recipe for all great Willow Nightingale matches is a clear heel face dynamic. And this doesn't have that, so it'll be too nice to be great, I think. But I think it'll be really fun. I do prefer
Shida
when
can
Willow
get
just fights
mean
back.
for one night, you know.
I don't want her to get
They're
mean.
in Louisville, Kentucky.
Wait,
You know.
you said Sheeta could get mean?
Yeah, Shida can get mean for a night.
I don't think so. She'll just wrestle. It'll
Yeah,
still be
no,
good.
but I'm just saying she could. She could.
Mm.
I'm not saying she will. I don't think she will, but I think what your concern will probably come to fruition, but it'll still be good nonetheless. Well, so we've got the 8-man tag that we mentioned earlier. MJF has got 3 mystery partners who most will assume will be the Acclaimed. Maybe it'll be the Kingdom and Roddy, but I doubt it. And they're taking on Bullet Club Gold, obviously the Guns, Jay White and Juice. It's hard to say how good this match will be because you don't know who almost half of the people in it are going to be. It'll have good heat though. It'll have good heat though. Yeah, we'll see. You going with the Acclaimed? Yeah, probably right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because this is how Max does things. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at the start of the show, he's like the Acclaim run into him. They're like, "Hey, Max, did you make your decision, man?" And he's just kind of like, "Guys, I said no." Blah blah blah. And you do like a show long storyline leading to him making the decision or something along those lines. Wouldn't be surprising to me. I could see some type of like TV drama with that being done.
AEW International Championship match. Orange Cassidy defends versus Claudio Castagnoli, and I probably would have said a few days ago that this was maybe a hot take, but I've seen a few people say it since. I think Claudio should win this. I think Claudio should win the belt here, but I don't think he's because they're already doing the Moxley stuff, you know, and. But yeah, I think it was you or Joe who mentioned it on Monday. It's like I wasn't really kind of like as great as that match was. It did feel kind of like a bookend match to Cassidy and Moxley a little bit, and you know, it seems like they're going straight back to it. And it seems like what they are going to do is Orange Cassidy beats Moxley while he's got the belt, or I don't know what they're going to do either. But I want to. The idea of Claudio with the international championship is me to just kind of think about that stuff later, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you find yourself on this, but I want Claudio to win, brother.
Sure.
There you go.
Sure.
It'll be a great match, though, I'm sure.
Yes, the match will be excellent. It'll be excellent.
Bro, even in the tag match last week, they might have done some of my favorite stuff from that tag match. You know, Claudio and Orange. So, very much looking forward to it. Tag team challenge: Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange versus the Golden Jets, Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Doesn't move me that much, but we'll see what happens. Ibu?
They're gonna beat him pretty quickly, and then there's gonna be a post-match angle of some kind, and I wonder what that angle will be. Yes. Maybe Paul White makes his appearance here to counter an attack from Takeshita. What's this guy's name? Takeshita, Will Hobbs, and whatever. Maybe that's what happens here. There's a big schmaz.
Probably just an angle.
And well, he comes out.
We've got Lucha. We've got some Lucha going on. We've got Vikingo versus Penta versus Commander.
That's Rampage.
Is that Rampage? So why is it on the fucking Dynamite preview on the All Elite Wrestling website?
I don't know.
It is on Rampage though. I don't know why it's here. But anyway,
Tony wanted to let people know if you're buying a ticket to tonight's event, you will see that match live. But yeah, it's not on Dynamite. I would welcome it on Dynamite. That'd be a pretty nice thing. But no, it's on Rampage.
Yeah,
It's just it's a non-title lucha 3-way that's just there to kind of be cool on Rampage. And I welcome that type of thing on Rampage. It's the C show. Do some cool matches that like the hardcore wrestling fans are going to go out of their way to see, because what is it? The Kingo,
Commander and Penta.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
But anyway, back to Dynamite. The last thing
if it was Phoenix instead of Penta, I'd like run to see that match, to be honest. But I'm definitely gonna watch that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing on Dynamite is the Tony Khan announcement that we have no idea what it's gonna be. Anyone Ibu's asked about it, as far as AEW is concerned, doesn't know what it is because Tony's kayfabing everyone. I don't know what it is, obviously. I haven't even bothered asking, if I'll be completely honest with you guys. You know, I haven't exactly got the... I don't think we'll call them sources because we haven't done any reports yet. But, you know, I haven't got as many friends in the business as Ibu, but I still haven't even asked myself because I just don't know what Tony's... I don't even know what it could be, you know? Who knows, Ibu? You got any guess before we close... Well, before we do the super chats and close this pod?
Not really.
I've got no idea. Like I said it on a tweet. Last time I had no idea what Tony Khan was going to announce or surprise. It ended up being Ric Flair. So who the fuck knows what this is? Maybe, I don't know. It could the Max deal. Since some people say it could be that. Every announcement, people say it could be the Max deal. You know, so. I have no idea. Some people think it might be Mariah May, as you mentioned earlier in the pod. I don't know what to tell you guys. I ain't got nothing for you on that one. I hope it's something big though, honestly, because Tony Khan has an announcement. Is a graphic that I have seen my fair share of at this point. So I think if he's gonna keep on doing it, when he does it, there has to be like really significant. Otherwise, you know. So yeah, we'll see what he's got cooking. Anyway, super chats to finish up. We've got quite a few, so we're gonna keep up a decent pace with these. Princess Diana, $5. Appreciate you. Can't wait to see my daughter on AEW programming. Go Mariah. Shout out Mariah May.
Awesome! I came to fight.
$1.99 from Rob. Appreciate you. Dwight, $4.99. Appreciate you. Can someone please tell Manny to text me back? We're supposed to go to my personal chiropractor tonight. Also, I love the Max Caster MJF stuff.
I gotta admit with you, I opened Instagram on my other phone, and the first thing I saw, I can't tell if it's a meme or not. I genuinely cannot tell. It said, it was Cameron posting it, and it said, Dwight Howard signs an endorsement deal with Ben Gay. I was just like, all right.
Anyway, Randy8537 $4.99. Appreciate you. In your personal wrestling Mount Rushmores, how many spots are locked in 100%, and how many can still be up for grabs for current future wrestlers?
I think it's impossible to have.
I've got two.
Mount Rushmore. It's tough. It's hard.
Yeah, two. I've got 2 slots locked in. Funk and Flair. Again, like I explained very clearly last week, you know, Ric Flair purely on the in-ring thing is one of my as that clearly suggests, is one of my greatest of all time, you know. But I was very much against the idea of him being brought to AEW, as I explained on the Dynamite review yesterday. So that's not me saying, you know, Ric Flair's a great, honourable human being or anything like that. Just as a wrestler, he does make my Mount Rushmore. Then Terry Funk. Yeah, Terry Funk. You know, what can't you say about Terry Funk? Everything good about wrestling is kind of embodied in Terry Funk. So
absolutely,
rest in peace, of course. But yeah, 2 for me and 2 open for whoever else, like a Bryan Danielson. Probably he's absolutely in contention. Who else? You know, Kenta. I love Mizawa. I love like the top guyness of Mizawa. It fucking popped me huge.
Monty, we have a Fightful update about.
Is it going to be actually worth you halting the podcast like this? Because normally when you do this, it's not.
The title is AEW, WWE, SmackDown, USA, WBD, NBA. How all the dominoes could fall.
Well, we only just released it 1 minute ago. I'm sure a lot of our audience subscribe for Thoughtful Select, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to read it out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Check that out if you check that out.
Yeah, good Thoughtful Select plug there. Sean, I want my money. Anyway,
yeah.
Interesting name. He Who Would Swallow God, $4.99. Appreciate you. If Samoa Joe left TNA for WWE in 2006, how would you imagine his career going? Would he have become a world champion WrestleMania main event?
I'll tell you exactly what would have happened.
Probably. Not Mania main event, but probably everything else.
Paul Heyman would run to get him on the EW brand and put him in a program with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle still would have crashed out the way he did, unfortunately. Paul Heyman would have had numerous disagreements with Vince McMahon about Samoa Joe, causing to Heyman's eventual quitting at December to Dismember 06. So history still lines up. Samoa Joe's still on the ECW brand. He does win the ECW championship. He will feud with Bob Lash in 2007. He will be drafted by Raw. No, he'll be
speed this up, bro.
Okay. He gets drafted on SmackDown. He will be one of Undertaker / Batista's Monsters of the Month. And then he'll just kind of hover as one of those Monsters of the Month type guys. The question was, will he main event WrestleMania? No. I think he would have been a ruthless.
He would have been part of Taker's streak,
Yeah, he would have been a streak opponent, and I just think he would have been like one of those like upper mid card heel monster guys that they threw at like Batista and Cena and Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. That Pitbull $2, appreciate you. Wolf 3 more XR Bully Cousins out in the UK. Yeah, man. Banned breed over here now. It's a shame. I've got a lot of friends with XL Pitbulls. I've got a few friends that breed them, and I've got many friends that are great with Pitbulls. And I'm not going to get into like dog politics for too long, but it's on the owners, man. It's on the owners. It's not the breed. Like, yeah, some dogs are more capable than others of doing things like Pitbull. Those XL Pitbulls, they're athletes, brother. But if they've got the right owners, then they will. They're not just going to naturally just be aggressive and just attack people and shit, But if they've got irresponsible, and sometimes not even irresponsible, like it's a lot of dog to deal with, brother. So I believe in the right people having licenses to look after certain breeds of dogs. I don't think certain breeds should be like just banned outright the way that is unfortunately happened to Pitbulls in the UK. Anyway, Trust the Process 34 $4.99. Appreciate it. Who would be the funniest, most ridiculous, but still somewhat realistic guy revealed to be under the devil mask?
If it's Max, it's kind of boring. If it's Cole, it could be Max, could be Cole. I've seen people throw out
what's the funniest, most ridiculous, bro? You mean bro said Max and Cole? Like, whoa.
Jack Perry?
I'm going with Goldberg. Anyway. bro, $5. This was the year I saw Will as more than just an elite in-ring guy. The Wrestle Kingdom promo and the Jericho's promo, plus the matches served up as Wrestler of the Year for me. I mean, the Wrestle Kingdom promo did get a lot of praise, and he did. The Jericho promos weren't exactly amazing in my opinion, but they weren't bad or anything either. But even if they were amazing, like, is that really enough to, like? Anyway, but I still absolutely think Will Ospreay does have a case for Wrestler of the Year, as well as clearly being the most outstanding. So, hell of a year, bro. He's a hell of a wrestler, man. TK $4.99, appreciate you. Outside of booking his guys, why do you guys think Triple H still books similar like Vince with these worthless matches and constant rematches? I disagree, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think Triple H books like Vince at all, so.
I wish he cited an example so I'd be able to better answer his question.
I think a lot of people are very frustrated with the Judgment Day stuff. But the thing I would say about the Judgment Day rematches is that they all serve purposes, and people have absolutely elevated in the duration of these coming together. And the rematches aren't just over straight up rematches either. Like, yeah, it'll be Judgment Day versus two baby faces, but it'll be different versions of Judgment Day.
Yes.
Sometimes it'll be singles, sometimes it'll be this. Sometimes Sammy will detour away from the Judgment Day and wrestle someone like Drew. You've got. It's like, yeah, I absolutely do. I've said for a couple months now, but I do think that Judgment Day should be cycled out for like Imperium, and they kind of swap places for a bit. And Imperium's like the top heel group on Raw for a bit. But I don't think that's enough. Even still, and that's not even the example that was brought up, because one wasn't brought up. But I don't think Triple H looks similar to Vince at all, to be honest. I think it's easy to forget how bad and nonsensical Vince was, because although WWE is like, business wise, it's hot and it's flying, but I think like creatively, it's very like steady. It's not like, oh my god, this is the most exciting B shit ever. So it's not like this. The contrast isn't as stark this far down the line now that quite a bit of time has passed with Triple H doing the majority of the booking. WWE was so bad, man. WWE was so bad that even though I watched it, I can look at some of the cards or some of the old stuff that they used to do and still not entirely sure that they actually did it, because it was that nonsensical and bad,
Yeah, it's like surreal to look back at, Bro, someone reposted a clip of DX coming out to confront the Brothers of Destruction.
Oh my god, that whole ordeal, bro!
And I was like, "This is dire. This is sad."
No, it's not even just that though. It's like it's the mid card shit and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Monty,
I don't know, man.
You weren't allowed to be over if you were under the age of 50, because if you were over, Vince would be like, "Let's fix that." Remember what they did to Rusev Day and like all these other it was just shit, bro. Raw coming out of the pandemic in 2021 is the worst TV I've ever seen. I genuinely maintain this. It's the worst TV I've ever seen.
Like I said, I think it's very easy to forget like just how bad it really was. But yeah, I do. The rematch thing is kind of valid, kind of, because they're not really straight rematches. But I do understand the frustration with seeing so much Judgment Day.
A lot of variation.
Also, it's like Rhea is such a big star. Dom gets so much heat. Finn and Damien are such good like workers to just kind of showing up everyone. Like it works, but I do think it could do some freshening up. Like I said, if you could cycle Imperium in the main heel spot, I wouldn't be.
That really does. That really is a big part of this too, Monty. Is that I like the formula, is because like the Jimmy / Solo main event formula on SmackDown hasn't been going as long as Judgment Day, but I like it way less because the main events are nowhere near as good. In fact, none of them are particularly good. So there you go. But like, especially when Kevin Owens is still on Raw, those Dean Jericho tags against Judgment Day, like they were all fucking like really good. So.
Which is on $4 appreciated. We know Vince wanted Charlotte versus Bianca at WrestleMania 40, but with Jade there, will that be a Triple H idea? I think Triple H would definitely be attracted by the idea of doing Charlotte versus Bianca anyway. It's not like it's a Vince exclusive,
No, they see eye to eye on a handful of wrestlers, just particularly the wrestlers that you saw heavily featured this spring. So, yeah.
$5 appreciate you. Dragunov is climbing my best in the world rankings. Deservedly so, I might have to say. Need to see him in front of big crowds with guys like Cody, Randy, Sheamus, Drew, etc. Hope he's in the Rumble.
Yeah,
that's a very fair hope to have. I don't think that's unrealistic.
I think he's right there with Gunther and Danielson and Omega and Ospreay, to be honest with you. It's just like a high level in-ring worker that like has high ceiling matches and high floor matches as well, where it's like give them a decent amount of time, they're just going to will something into being really, really, really good no matter what,
Piers 499 appreciated. Miz versus Gunther is WrestleMania main event caliber. The longest reigning IC champion versus the greatest IC champion ever. 2 stars, 2 legends, 2 all-time greats. Come on, bro. Will Chisholm, $10. If Triple H is still booking in 2 years, WWE in-ring style may change with the Creed brothers. Day, Chad Gable, Dragon Lee, Mello, and some of the women in NXT.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that'll be a natural process anyway. I think
it's already more dynamic than it was on TV like 2 years ago for like obvious.
Vince is never getting back in that chair, bro. It's never going to be like his show written by him top to bottom again. Like, it will never be that, I don't think, under Endeavour after what we've seen in the first few months and what we've heard from reports and stuff. Then, honestly, the thing that actually sealed it for me, like, I do think it is absolutely possible that the devil may appear in WWE Creative again and he'll give his notes similar to what we saw earlier on in the year. But I don't think it'll get to the point where it's like it's his show again, and he's fucking writing it from top to bottom. Yeah, I think Vince it's a weird one, but like I said, this past weekend, seeing him walking around with his cane, his voice being all like
that was eye opening.
It was like, fuck, man, he's fucked. He's fucked.
He was decrepit, bro. Like
he's fucked, bro.
He was
apparently he's going back to Saudi. I'm talking about the Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight that he was at. Obviously, he was interviewed, and I'm sure a lot of you saw the video clip. But he's going back over Saudi Arabia again, apparently, for this weekend. So apparently, Ari Emanuel may be at Crown Jewel as well. So.
I heard that, Monty, and people in the company were joking to me that like Ari's there to keep an eye on Vince and make sure he doesn't fuck with anything. And someone, Monty, genuinely made the joke from the company that said, "Oh, that's why he kept Gunther and DIY off the card for Saudi, just in case." And it's just jokes, but you know.
Yeah, Will Chisholm, $5. Appreciate it. I do think fans get on Tony Khan's booking because he's low key doing Vince McMahon booking and Triple H slowly putting in his NXT booking and in-ring styles.
My response to this is AEW TV will never, ever, ever in the immediate future get anywhere near as bad as like late 2010s WWE. However, there are like trends in terms of approach that are similar, and I have made adjustments as a viewer similar to the ones I made with WWE in the sense that like I just cherry pick the things I like, compartmentalize and consume those things, and try not to think too much about the creative and the logic, because if I do, I will get annoyed. But I say this while also maintaining that even at its most frustrating, Dynamite will never, ever, ever be 2018 Monday Night Raw.
That Pitbull, $2. Lola Voice, woof. Appreciate it.
Calm down,
Will Chisholm, $5. Appreciate it. Just want to see both Creeds versus Brock Lesnar. I know I'm sick for that.
Bro, Julius Creed.
He's cooking, bro. Cooking.
Oh my god.
Will Chisholm, $2. I would love to see Prime HBK versus Prime Brock. We're just fantasy booking random matches now, but yeah, man. All for it, brother. TK, $1.99. Appreciate it. Ibu, quick thoughts on Julius Randle, Knicks ATM.
Julius Randle, he doesn't have his offensive touch at the moment, and we're gonna need him to distribute in the meantime while his shot's not falling. I could see him getting traded at some point this year because the Knicks are in a weird spot. They're good enough to make the playoffs and win a playoff series. They're not a championship level team, and in a lot of sports, I'm sure this applies to football, Monty. The worst place you want to be is that middle ground where like you're good but you're not great. And to become great, you got to make a sacrifice. You got to make a big move. I could see Randall getting moved and traded.
Anyway, Knicks, they're not doing anything overly exciting, Anyway, so
we won last night against Cleveland, man. We did. We
that's how it goes. I guess I'll just say this as it's it's just popped up on the screen and we are wrapping up. NXT last night on the USA Network did 674,000 viewers and a .20 rating.
Yep.
So
Big dip for the recent trend. Halloween wins again. Every time there's a wrestling show on Halloween, it does really poorly. Don't know what the sports competition is, but yeah, a really huge drop, frankly. And so they kept the 2.0.
That's what matters. That's why when you say like huge drop.
Huge drop in total viewership. It is a huge drop. Yeah.
One last super chat. Glassdoor Gamer, $2 Canadian. WWE has been boring as fuck. Rematches, little story. You must have just joined, bro, because we literally just went over this. Like, come on, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, NXT rating dropped quite a lot in average viewership, but the rating held pretty steady, still in the .20 range, which I'm sure is where they want to keep and build on, and try and close that gap on Dynamite, I guess. Obviously, I know a lot of people have pointed out that they've beat them in the viewership recently, like even outside of the head-to-head that they did. Yeah, man. 2.0 though. 2.0 isn't a bad 18 to 49 then, I guess. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's wrap it up. Appreciate all the super chats, everyone. Please like and subscribe. We will be back on Twitch later for the AEW Dynamite watch along. We are back with those. AO is back in action. He's got his headphones sorted before Ibu was showing himself on camera again. So whoever I bet that with owes me money. Yeah, man. Ibu, sort your camera out. Get your setup sorted. I'm actually in the process of getting a new setup, people. I know that's not very exciting to you, like, but the blue flower wall maybe it may be a different backdrop soon, people. So because currently I don't really have a setup. I just have my laptop on my bedside table. I'm currently sat on my bed. It's not really that comfortable. It doesn't look that professional, and I want to try to be better for you guys. But anyway. Waffling again. Like, subscribe. Thanks for the super chats. We'll be back later tonight on Twitch for the Dynamite watch along. But we'll also be back tomorrow for the AEW Dynamite review with myself, Charlie, and good question. But yeah, appreciate everyone. Please like and subscribe one last time. And thanks for watching. Peace.